The video opens with a slow-motion shot of a gavel striking a sound block. The sound is deep and resonant. As the gavel makes contact, white text appears on a black screen. The death penalty process in America. The journey through the American capital punishment system is a long and complex legal maze. It begins not with an ending, but with a single momentous event, a trial for a crime so severe that the defendant's very life hangs in the balance. This is where the process starts. In a courtroom where the weight of the state is brought to bear against an individual, asterisk scene shifts to a courtroom. A defendant sits at a table, face etched with anxiety. The jury is shown, their expressions serious and focused. The prosecutor gestures towards an evidence board, asterisk inside the courtroom. The initial phase is the guilty innocence trial. Here, a jury of peers listens intently as the prosecution presents its case, aiming to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant committed a capital offense, a crime eligible for the death penalty, such as first-degree murder with specific aggravating circumstances. The defense, in turn, challenges the evidence, questions witnesses, and presents an alternative narrative. Every piece of testimony, every exhibit, is scrutinized under the exacting rules of law. For the jurors, the responsibility is immense, as their unanimous verdict of guilty is the key that unlocks the next, more profound stage of the proceedings. Asterisk after a brief shot of the word guilty on a form, the scene transitions. The same jury is seen, but the atmosphere is even more somber. Lawyers present different types of evidence, perhaps family photos for the defense and crime scene photos for the prosecution. Asterisk, a guilty verdict does not automatically mean a death sentence. The trial enters a distinct second phase, the sentencing or penalty phase. Now, the jury is no longer deciding guilt, but punishment. The prosecution introduces what are known as aggravating factors, specific circumstances that make the crime seem more heinous, such as its cruelty or the vulnerability of the victim. The defense counters with mitigating factors, aspects of the defendant's life, character, or the circumstances of the crime that might argue for mercy, such as a history of abuse, mental illness, or remorse. The jury must weigh these factors, balancing the scales of justice to decide between a life sentence without parole and death. Asterisk, an animation begins. A stylized legal document with a red seal appears at the bottom of the screen and begins to move upwards through a diagram of a state court system, from a trial court to an appellate court, and finally to the state Supreme Court. Asterisk, even with a death sentence imposed. The process is far from over. An automatic and extensive series of appeals begins, starting with direct appeals. This first layer of review is confined to the official trial record. A new team of lawyers meticulously combs through every document and transcript, searching for legal errors made by the judge, prosecutor, or even the defense attorney during the original trial. The case moves up the state's judicial ladder, asking higher courts to determine if the trial was fundamentally fair and if the law was correctly applied. Asterisk, the scene changes to show an inmate in a prison law library surrounded by books, or meeting with a new determined-looking lawyer in a visitor's room. Asterisk, following the direct appeal, the case enters the state post-conviction stage. This is a crucial step that allows for the introduction of new evidence that was not part of the original trial. Here, claims of ineffective assistance of counsel, the argument that the trial lawyer was so incompetent that it violated the defendant's right to a fair trial are often raised for the first time. Other issues, such as newly discovered evidence of innocence or juror misconduct, can also be brought forward in state court. This phase represents a critical opportunity to examine what may have happened outside the courtroom. Asterisk, the animated document from before reappears. It moves from the top of the state court diagram over to a new diagram representing the federal court system. It moves from a U.S. District Court up to a U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals and potentially the U.S. Supreme Court. Asterisk, asterisk, once all state-level appeals are exhausted, the final legal recourse is the federal habeas corpus review. The case now leaves the state system and enters federal court. This is not another chance to argue innocence, but rather the last opportunity to argue that the state, in convicting and sentencing the defendant, violated their rights under the U.S. Constitution. Federal judges reviewed the case to ensure that fundamental rights such as the right to effective counsel and a fair trial free from government upheld throughout the entire state process. Asterisk, asterisk, the final scene is stark and silent. An empty, sterile chamber is shown. The lighting is clinical. After a few seconds, the screen fades to black. White text appears, listing the stages, asterisk, 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 the trial, the sentencing, direct appeals, state post-conviction, federal habeas corpus, execution, asterisk, asterisk.